I know we kind of took a little hiatus there. We kind of had a lot of things happen at the same time. I can't remember why we missed that Sunday. I think I was sick.
Um, yeah, you were sick. I was on vacation, and then we were gonna do a show Tuesday, and I ended up being sick. I couldn't even talk without coughing. Um, and it was kind of like we wanted to do the show, but it was almost like we were gonna force to do a show. I guess right
Mhm.
there in between because we needed to review what happened, but we also needed to preview the game that we're about to talk about. So it was just we were both sick is mainly why we kind of took the hiatus.
But yeah, since we're here now, guys, let's start off. How's your New Year been, Justin? Did you make any New Year's resolutions before
Um
the New Year happened?
uh yeah, I mean I'm trying to grow as a person really. I mean just make better decisions with just I guess anger, you know. Like when I'm at work, anger kind of gets the best of me as one and then the big one is I think I did it before the new year and then I had some stressful things come up and it caused me to do it again and then now I'm kind of I think I've finally kicked it. Hopefully, I guess we'll see if another stressful thing comes up. I'm officially done vaping. That's something that I think, especially our generation and our age group. I know me and Mason are, 3 or 4 years apart, but anybody from the age of probably about 30 to about, I don't know, 22, vaping came on to us when we were in high school and it like took the world by storm. It caught a lot of us, when we were, I guess you could say, young adults, teenagers. And it was the next best thing. Um, and it was something that I kind of wanted to quit for a while. I obviously was going to Colorado, and the big thing up there is like breathing. So I was like, I'm going to quit. And then I was like, well, screw it. If I've got it kicked for 3 weeks, I might as well just kick it completely. So that's probably the big thing, man. It's just the not vaping and then trying to change the attitude when it comes to, getting frustrated. What about
I can
you?
I can sympathize with the attitude thing. As a human being, I
Hmm.
sometimes self sabotage
Yeah.
with certain things, and it could be like for the podcast, for example. Like, let's say I have just a crappy day at work, and then I don't have meat thawed out, so I'm gonna have to like figure out something for dinner. I would just have the crappiest attitude all day, and then I
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh, I got to do the podcast," even though like the
Yeah.
podcast is probably my favorite thing that I do.
Yeah.
Um, for myself type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been trying to be more positive. I've been trying to read my Bible. I don't know if in the future, hey, if it's like 50 years down the line and you're watching this, somebody, yes, I do believe in God. Not pushing
Yeah.
that on anyone, but I've been trying to get closer in that, and I've been trying
Yeah.
to. I've just been trying to improve myself. Just in general, trying to be more consistent of a person. But
And
that's
really
all. That's for me.
that's good for us looking at it cuz you think like a lot of people want these big extravagant like New Year's resolutions. Well, if you're not just a horrible person, let me
Mhm.
rephrase that. It's good that me and you don't have like massive things that we're trying to fix. Like you're not like I'm really sitting down and I'm trying to figure out how to get myself out of $50,000 worth of credit card debt. It's like
Yeah, I'm not trying to like
awesome,
get off
Mason. Like
hard drugs or something.
exactly. Like you're trying to get back into your Bible. Me too, buddy.
Right.
But that's great for both me and you because we don't have those massive catastrophic things that we're saying we need to fix. Um, yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at. I've had a last year was great for me. Too. The podcast was great. Obviously, it made the season go by faster, which I don't know how I feel
I
about
don't like
that, but
that, but
no. But it was cool because me and Mason had talked before the podcast even was thought of. And I have friends that I talked to before me and Mason, I guess, became closer through the podcast. But I had friends that I was like, man, I want to start a podcast. I'd love to start a college football podcast, but I just don't know anything technical with it. Like, I'm not, if you
Mhm.
know me, like, I'm not a technical person. I have a Samsung phone. which whatever you can believe that's a rock or whatever you think it is, but it's like an 8-year-old phone. I don't hardly play video games. If you need technical like advice, don't come to me unless you're like my grandparents or whatever. But like, so that was always my disconnect when it came to podcasts. Other than that, if you know me, I can talk to a brick wall about anything. I don't care, especially college football. And Mason, we started talking. I told him I'd really like to start a podcast. And he's like, dude, I'm already kind of starting one. And he had some guys, and, they ended up liking it, but they just didn't love it. So they kind of fell off. And then me and Mason kind of started doing our own thing. And I mean, I appreciate you more than, you'll know, just because you're the one that kind of gave me the opportunity to come on here. And that's what all happened in 2025 mainly was, just coming on and figuring it out between us,
Well, and my whole leeway with this was, also I'll say thank you for that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean it was easy
Yeah, no
decision,
problem, man.
but my whole leeway into this was New Year's resolutions for teams. Like, what should be the
Yeah.
New Year's resolution for? I'll give Arkansas as an example. Last year, you fired your coach. The
Yeah.
whole building's gone.
Yeah.
Outside of Hunter Yurachek, we got a chat real quick. Let me read this. So, Dirty Dave Davis says best college football podcast in the world. Appreciate it, Davis. But I like Arkansas, for example. Your big thing has been you've been losing 30 players a year in the transfer
Yeah.
portal. You haven't had consistency outside of a few spots, and even the consistency that you did have was lacking at times. I mean, you had a lot of turnover problems, which is a problem with consistency. You had a lot of penalty issues, and you had statistically one of the worst defenses of all time. The New Year's
Yeah.
resolution would be obviously get a new coach. We did that.
Yeah.
Invest money into your
Mhm.
program. That seems to be apparent. And go get some guys. And
Yeah.
based on everything I'm seeing, obviously we'll know more in March whenever we have
Mhm.
spring football, and we'll know more going into week 1 of next year. And we are going to get to the national championship. Obviously, the season's not over, but like that's a big New Year's
it's over.
resolution for
Yeah.
Arkansas, for me personally.
Yeah.
Or for like my team personally.
Yeah, and the season is over except for 2 teams. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So like you're completely right. It's not over. We're going to talk about that game, but like this is a great time to talk about stuff like this because in like 2 or 3 weeks, transfer portal's closed. Your team is your team. You can't do anything about it. I think Arkansas has done a really great job of like completely flipping around what they are looking at when it comes to bringing in transfer guys, but bringing in the right guys. And really, from what I've noticed, high school recruiting is still important. But a lot more teams are not so hell bent on high school recruiting like they used to be. Obviously, if me and Mason dug deep into every team, we would have a lot of New Year's resolutions for a lot of teams. Ohio State's New Year's resolution, I think, should be. I mean, there's a lot I think of, but mainly like establishing offensive line dominance. Because if you look at the 2 games that they lost, just to let you know, the only 2 teams that Ohio State lost to are now in the national.
Hey, me and Aaron had betting odds on this.
Are now in the national championship. So if I had to rank a top 5, it would be Indiana 1, Miami 2, 3A, 3B would be Ohio State and Ole Miss. And then I don't really care who 5 is.
Not
and the reason the reason I did 3A, 3B is because if I said, "Oh, well, we lost to these 2 teams," Aaron would say, "The only team we lost to, we avenged the loss, and then we lost to Miami." So, and it was a closer loss technically, if you want to be, whatever. But they got to fix offensive line play when it comes to Ohio State's New Year's resolution and get the freaking tight ends off the field. I don't want to see a tight end again at Ohio State. I really don't.
You had the best one in the country this year.
No, I don't want to see him. I like now I want to run 5 wide all the time, or 4 wide with a running back. I don't care. Well,
Yeah.
I used to say we were wide receiver U, but I don't know if we are anymore now. I mean, we're losing everybody. Hey, and I'm telling you this too, Mason. I know it's way too early. I hate when people do this. And you're going to hate the team I'm about to tell you, but I've been noticing on the recruiting train
Mhm.
and then the transfer portal trail, watch out for Notre Dame next year. I'm just telling you. Like they went and got Ohio State's 2 receivers that were 5 stars that entered the transfer portal. One of them was probably going to start for us this year. And they were talented. You know what I'm saying? Like they were a talented team. Me and you talked about how should they have got in the playoffs? No. But would they have made a run in the playoffs if they got in? Yes. So that's probably my team next year that I'm going to be like, watch out for them.
Okay, so obviously I don't have a real New Year's resolution for this team, but just a team
Mm-hmm.
that I've noticed that is completely surprised, and it should be everyone, is Kentucky. I know they hired
Yeah.
Oregon's offensive coordinator. I can't remember his name, but
Mm-hmm.
currently, right now, they're ranked number 3 in the transfer portal, 3 or 4, and with Mark Saban, weren't getting that.
No.
They weren't. So they had to flip the whole program around. I mean, they were stuck dead in the water in a competitive conference, and to have any sort of life moving forward, you had to flip everything around. And so far, Kentucky has done that.
Yeah.
I think I think a big thing for Ole Miss going forward is what's going on with Trinidad Chambliss. They just got Deuce Knight, quarterback from Auburn, who up and down, but we'll see on that. And LSU got Sam Levitt. Now, me personally, not a big Sam Levitt guy. I
Yeah.
thought he was wildly overrated. He looked good this year prior to his injury, but not a huge Sam Levitt guy. Now, I think Lane Kiffin will make him look better than he really is. But if you pay attention, which of course I'm in the trenches of this Ole Miss stuff all the time
Yeah.
because unfortunately I was the best man in an Ole Miss fan's wedding, so I hear all about it.
Yeah.
But if you look at first year Lane Kiffin quarterbacks, they tumble. They always do. So
Yeah.
Matt Corral had a game where he threw 6 picks his first year under Lane Kiffin. They won like 4 games. Of course, that was 2020 COVID year.
Yeah.
And then Jackson Dart's first year, they won 8 in a row and then lost 4 in a row. And Jackson Dart
Mhm.
looked bad down the stretch of that season. So Trinidad's a little bit different story. Trinidad was also a 6th-year senior or 5th-year senior, whatever. Going forward, does Sam Levitt have that same sort of issue? We'll obviously get more into that as we go forward and whenever we're actually looking at schedules. But I think it's important for LSU to build around Sam Levitt if they want to have the type of success they think they should have, which I hate to tell you. I'm going to go on a little, not a tangent, but I'll just say this right now. LSU, how many times do I have to tell you that you are not Alabama? Okay? You're
Yeah.
not. You're not Alabama. You don't have Nick Saban. You don't. I mean, you're not Alabama, so expecting a national championship every year is like wildly just out of touch with the reality of what you are.
Well, and I'll say this too. Like this is just in general. I think dynasties are over.
Oh,
They're
for
done.
sure.
You're not gonna have back-to-back national championship, maybe ever again. You might have it. I don't. It's hard to say that, but I just don't feel like you're going to. I feel like there's too many teams that are spread out. The 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 talent is more spread out than it ever was. Um,
Mhm.
if you were gonna see a back to back, and I mean, you can disagree with me. You can say I'm stupid. You can say it's a homer take. All you got to do is look at the NFL draft this year. If there was going to be a back to back this year, it would probably have happened with Ohio State. They're going to have like 7 first-round draft picks. That's talent. So you like back in the old day, you would be like, oh, Alabama, they won a national championship the year before. They got a new defensive coordinator that's better than the last one, and they're going to have 7 to 8 first-round picks alone. Yeah, they're winning it back to back. There's no question. But
Well, and like
now,
kind of projecting it, do you think? Okay, so let's say Indiana wins it. Does it is that sustainable for a team like Indiana? But like, I guess my question more is like, does it benefit a team like Miami that plays in the ACC and can obviously afford to take a break in October? Um,
Yeah.
like, I mean, we could see it, but I don't think it's in a traditional sense, not in a dominant
And
sense.
it's gonna be. I just think it's gonna be harder than what it used to
Mhm.
be to go back to back. And I mean, how many? What teams ever went back to back? Georgia did it once, and Alabama did it twice. I think.
Yeah, and if you look to the NFL, that model, I mean, you had the Patriots did it a couple times, and or once or twice, something like that. The Chiefs just did it, but other than that, it's been. I mean, it's kind of the same model as what you have now, but except for it's crazier in college football, and there's not a lot of back to backs there either. In fact,
No.
there's not really a lot of back to back division champions. I mean, just to go beyond Super
Yeah.
Bowl, I mean, you
I
don't have a
mean,
lot of back to back division champions.
exactly. So I think that's over with, and I enjoy it because I think you're seeing more talent spread out. Like I keep up with recruiting to an extent. I don't follow like all throughout it. I probably will this year just because we'll have shows that we talk about it. But like you know who the number one recruiting class? Talking about New Year's resolutions. You know who the number? You know what team had the number one recruiting class this cycle?
USC.
Yeah, like it wasn't Alabama, it wasn't Georgia, it wasn't Ohio State, and USC didn't have a bad team. I know they
No.
lost to TCU in the bowl game, but if you watch that game, it was on like a last second play. Now, to me, a loss is a loss. Like it doesn't matter. Like you lost the game, it's part of it. But like they have a good team that's there. It seems like Lincoln Riley found a defensive coordinator that's somewhat competent, and you know Lincoln Riley's going to have a good offense.
Mhm.
That would probably be that's a team for me that it seemed like their New Year's resolution was like, hey, listen, we have pedigree to be a big dog. Let's go be that big dog.
Well, and you've kind of been waiting on Lincoln Riley to. I mean, he had that little mini run with Caleb Williams where he
Yeah,
went. He won, but they won 10 games that first year, and then they won 7 that second year. But then,
yeah,
I mean, it's been kind of disappointing to be honest. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean that's a huge deal for them. And if they can retain them, the name of the game now is retaining. I mean, if you're going to have a recruiting class like that, what good? And Arkansas is a great example of this. From the 2023 recruiting class, you know how many players Arkansas had on their roster last year?
Maybe two, three.
Zero. They had
Yeah,
zero.
yeah,
And it showed. I mean, it just did. You have new faces in and out. In and out. I
and
mean, in and out, in and out, in and out.
yeah,
And the name of the game is retaining. That goes for Ohio State, Alabama, and
yeah.
Georgia. If you can't retain your talent, what's the point in getting it?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I found out like 2 days ago, Ohio State from the 2023 and the 2024 defensive line room, they only have 4 people left that they recruited.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is left. Or maybe
And
that
a
was
big
just
problem in those
2024.
games was they weren't dominant on the line.
Exactly. So, yeah, man, it's. I mean, it's a new age of college football, and this is exactly what people wanted to see because it's spread. It's spread everything out when it comes to talent. It's spread everything out when it comes to winning. It's spread everything out when it comes down to like just good football in general, which leads me into the conversation, Mason. You can mute me because I'm going to get on your nerves. It's just going to happen. I've talked about it in the friend group. I've talked about it to my brother. I've talked about it to my dad. I've talked about it to a bunch of people. I've been an Ohio State fan since I was in 6th grade, which was probably 2008, 2009, 2010 range, right? For the longest time, I want everybody to listen to what I'm about to say. For the longest time, up until 3 years ago, the SEC was the cream of the crop when it came to football. I knew that. Everybody knew that. Ohio State would make a run every once in a while. USC kind of had their dominance in a little bit. Texas, blah, blah, blah. But top to bottom, the SEC was it. Talent came from the SEC. First round draft pitch, national championship, Heisman's, all this stuff. Completely give it to you. Back then, everything mattered. Bowl games mattered. Now, no bowl games are a little different, but stick with me. Bowl games mattered. National championships mattered. Draft picks in the first round mattered because they were more talented. When NIL became a thing in 2021, 2022, took everybody a year to catch up. 2023, 2024, 2025. Not a single SEC team has been in the national championship. This year, the SEC in non-SEC versus SEC bowl games are 2-8. 2-8 in bowl games. Now, the reason I keep bringing this up, it's not you, Mason, but I've heard multiple times Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, ESPN guys, people that used to play in the SEC. It's just different. It's a gauntlet, week in and week out. It's just different down here. Okay, are we talking about stadiums? If we're talking about stadiums, sure, I'll give it to you. Besides the Big House and besides the Shoe and besides Penn State, yes, it's different. People get louder, rowdier, understandable. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the product on the field. Diego Pavia went on a podcast and said, Iowa, you only got to score 7 points to beat Iowa? No, dude, they hung 34 on your bitch ass. So if we're like, for the longest time, we as other conferences were expected to say, yes, the SEC is better. Why? Well, we win all the national championships. We're better. Okay, well, not anymore. Well, that's just the top team. We're better top to bottom. Well, are you? You're 2-8 in bowl games, and I don't care how many people you have sit out. If you went 6-6, I would get it. But 2-8's atrocious. I know some bowl games are different than others. I get that. But like 2-8, you can't even have a claim to the top spot if you're going 2-8 in bowl games. And it's not just me saying this. You can turn on ESPN. Fox, Mark Ingram's saying it. Ryan Clark's saying it. Stephen A. Smith is saying it. Paul Feinbaum couldn't even talk about it because he knows the truth. I'm just saying, like, it's about time that people that are like historical SEC fans, you know who I'm talking about, Mason, just at least like own up and be like, hey, man, you know what? We had our run as SEC. Maybe it'll come back. But right now, we're not the top conference anymore. But every time I bring that up, it's always like running in circles because it's like, well, national championships don't matter. Bowl games don't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. It's like, but for the longest time, those were the things that you wanted to hold your conference to a tier on because that's what y'all were good at, which is fine. We own that. But now that roles are switched, it's like, you got to stand on that pedestal. And Mason knows because I sent a long video that was a little more colorful in our group chat. And I get annoyed with it, obviously, because I am an Ohio State fan. And for the longest time, we just get trashed on how bad our conference is. It's like, well, now your conference is bad, so stand on that. No, it's not. It's just different here. It's like, no, it's not. Now you're bad, so stand on that, how you want to talk about y'all don't play anybody, you don't do this. But I'm also a type of person where it's like, talk shit as much as you want to on anything you want to. But when roles switch, don't be scared to talk that same shit or at least stand over there and die on the hill. And that's been something I told Mason since I started the podcast is I die on hills. I'm not scared to die on a hill, but I expect everybody to kind of die on their hill respectively because that's just what you're supposed to do. Sorry.
And like my only response to that, and it's not necessarily in a SEC is the best way, and I don't think it's necessarily that any conference is just head and shoulders above anyone anymore. The SEC has taken a step back, and I think it would be unrealistic to say that they are the same level of or any conference is the level of dominant. But if you look at what has caught up, specifically the Big Ten, Oregon, Washington, and USC are all quality teams.
Yeah.
Alabama's not the dynasty anymore. Yeah. Georgia obviously isn't the dynasty anymore.
Yeah.
But whenever you lose your top dogs, another conference added very quality football teams. I mean, one of them has been in 2 straight playoffs. Washington went to – when did Washington go to theirs? In 23?
It was the year before. It was the year before they joined the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, it was
the Big Ten. Sorry,
I mean, they were still Pac-12, but at the same time, that's still a team that's went to the playoff this decade. USC just had the number 1 recruiting class, and they are constantly improving. I think it would be And you've also had some teams step up. I mean, let's just say it, Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, what is
That would
like?
that would be like Kentucky coming out of nowhere in
Yeah,
football.
or I mean Vanderbilt. I mean Vanderbilt
I mean
and
Vanderbilt stepped up, yeah. But that's just to say that like yes, it has evened out. And if you know me and you know I have been this way since I was a literal child. I don't
yes,
like Arkansas State. I don't like Arkansas Tech. I don't like Harding. I don't like SAU. If UACCM, which is a community college, 45 minutes from my hometown, if they had a football team, I wouldn't like them either.
yeah,
I'm not an SEC fan. I never have been. Um, and the other conversation is, it was never that the SEC as a whole was dominant. It never was. I don't know why this conversation ever happened. Because
yeah,
the SEC as a whole, it was not different. The
yeah,
SEC West, it was different. And if you look at it
yeah,
this year, even, and you take those teams that were in the SEC West, Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, Mississippi State, and Arkansas, three of those teams were in the playoff. I mean, that
yeah,
still would have been that's a crazy division.
yeah,
Um, and the SEC East got to ride that coattail. All of that to say, yes, it has evened out. It's a bad faith argument, which is what I try to avoid in general.
yeah,
Bad faith arguments go nowhere, and it would be a bad faith argument to say that the SEC is just so much better than everybody because they're not, and they haven't been for eternity. They've never the SEC
yeah,
as a whole has never just been better than everyone. The SEC West was, but what I will say, the SEC is better about and better than they're better at tailgates. They're
yeah,
better. Fan interactions are crazier. They're psychos in the
yeah,
SEC.
for sure.
Um, the TV coverage, whether anyone wants to admit it or not, Fox sucks.
Yeah, it
ESPN is
does.
obviously
Yeah,
better. Even before
hmm
SEC was solo to ESPN, it was better. Um,
yeah,
and it's
I
just
miss. Yeah,
the proximity of the SEC says a lot because Oregon doesn't hate Rutgers.
no,
I mean,
no,
Rutgers doesn't hate UCLA. The east to east or the east to west coast thing is insane to me. But that does dilute maybe some of the passion, I would
yeah,
say.
I
As far
agree.
as Ohio State Michigan, top one or two rivalry in all of sports.
Yeah,
Um, Penn State doesn't really have a rival, but like you have rivalries and you have a lot of passion in the traditional Big Ten, but it just across the conference you don't necessarily see it.
no,
Um,
and that's something that I will completely like. I'm all in for you. Like I completely respect it. Like that's 1,000% there. The main reason I bring up the conversation about what I was talking about is because so long I had to kind of sit in the back burner, and people talk about it all the time. Here's another one that people don't know, and I don't have the stats right in front of me, Mason. I got this from Minnesota Sports, which is a Midwest podcast that me and Mason kind of watch. It put up a graphic, and it was two teams. One was ranked in the past 2 years or 3 years. One had been ranked in the top 25 one time. One had been ranked in the top 25 48 times. They both had the same winning percentage. Both beat the same amount of top 25 schools, but like pretty much identical. One was LSU and one was Minnesota.
mhm.
So it's like that's where the big disconnect comes for me because you see it, and I know it comes from ESPN, and I know that's who owns the SEC, and I get all that, but so many people watch that and they're just like, well, that is what it is. Like LSU's just a 12 ranked team. It's like, no, just go watch football and you'll see that they're not. But now that things have kind of changed over, where they are more equal. The Big Ten might be superior this year. Next year it might be the ACC or the Big 12 or whatever. When you start bringing that up to SEC fans, because us as other conferences have been kicked all the time since we were little brother to everybody. Now you hear a lot of these fans being like, "Well, I just don't want to talk about it. That don't matter no more. Who cares? NIL became a thing, and it just ain't like it used to be." I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, now that it's just like politics. I mean, now that you're not winning, you don't want to talk about it anymore. It is kind of crazy, Mason, and we don't have to talk about this, but everybody always kind of wondered if the SEC was paying players to play. It's very ironic. I don't know who was paying players, who wasn't. I'm sure there's northern schools that did it. We've talked about this conversation before. A lot of people were doing it. Nobody really knows who was doing it. But ever since it became actually legal to do it, it's wild how an SEC team has not been in the national championship. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get into that long, deep conversation. It's just ironic. If it looks like shit, smells like shit, might be.
Yeah, I mean, I could have. I mean, I could have a quick response to it. I think it's more of a result of the 12-team playoff for one.
Percent.
And not to say that the SEC wasn't cheating. I'm never going to get on here and ever lie like that. Again, that's a
Yeah.
bad faith argument. I'm never going to get on here and lie and say that people weren't cheating, but I don't necessarily think. I don't think other conferences are innocent
Yeah.
in that either. I
Yeah.
think it's a thing that you can say right now just
Yeah.
because of the
It's an
circumstance.
easy.
Yeah.
It's an easy argument for me to push to make the SEC look worse.
I think if Tennessee was handing out money in McDonald's bags and they were 4-8 or 5-7, I'm pretty confident I could say that almost everybody was doing it. You know what I mean?
No, you're exactly right. I like using it just to poke.
Yeah.
Not you, just people.
Let's kind of get into this game though. This is
Yeah.
I mean, this is the last hurrah, guys. I think it's on Monday, correct?
Yes, which is nuts to me, but I mean, whatever.
Miami versus Indiana, 6:30. It's being played at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. Right now, the over/under is 47.5, and the Indiana Hoosiers are favored by 8.5 points on DraftKings. I'll let you kind of start on this. How do you feel about the line first, and then you can go into your whole thing.
Okay, so it's really weird to me because it's like we just watched. We have common opponent with these two teams. And the common opponent is a good team. Ohio State was a good team this year. Nothing really changed between them playing. Ohio State didn't even play a game in between them playing both those teams. The scores were pretty much the same. I know at the end, Ohio State, if you look at the box score, it's going to say 10 points. But if you watch the game, it would have really only been 6. I'm not claiming that. They still lost by 10 points. I'm just using that as an argument here to where, like, they could have forced them to a field goal, and then it would have been 6 points. So we're looking at the game where it was 13-10, Indiana over Ohio State, and then it would have been 17 to what would it or 20 to 14.
Oh, yeah, 20 to 14.
Yeah, 20 to 14. Miami over Ohio State. Same thing, really. Game kind of went the same way. I would say Ohio State showed points in the Miami game of being able to little brother them. And then they kind of got away from it. Not saying that Ohio State lost because of what they were doing. Ohio State lost because Miami beat them. I feel like I'm going to have to keep preferencing that, or people are going to be like, well, he's just making excuses. Ohio State probably would have beat them the way he talks. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you did see points in that game to where Ohio State was moving the ball great. And I say all that, but then I just watched Indiana boat race a good Oregon team. Like, I'm not saying Oregon's great, but Oregon is a good team.
Oregon beat themselves really bad in that game. They
did, and what I hate saying this, but like Fernando Mendoza also didn't make mistakes. Like, no, he had 2 incompletions. But you're right. Like, Oregon got it wasn't like the last year's Ohio State versus Oregon game in the Rose Bowl where like Ohio State just beat Oregon. No, it was picks and fumbles and stuff like that. But
fumbles on the fumbles in like to where Indiana takes over with 10 yards to go.
Exactly. So the thing that comes down to it to me, I think offensive and defensive line for both teams is a wash. I feel like they're great. If you're a high school offensive or defensive lineman, you're probably going to love this game because there's going to be stunts, there's going to be twists, there's going to be all these things. And what's funny, Mason? Both defensive coordinators were co-defensive coordinators at JMU with Kirk Cignetti. Miami's defensive coordinator was Indiana's defensive coordinator last year, and then he left and went to Miami, and then Indiana's defensive coordinator now, they run the same defense is what I'm getting at. So it's like same thing. Like you've seen it all year in practice. So either that means it's going to be a high scoring game or it's going to be a low scoring game. Which that's kind of any freaking game in all of college football, ain't it? But anyways, what I'm getting at is like I think offensive and defensive lines are going to be washed. They're both great. I don't think there's an upside for either one of them. I like Indiana's receiving core more than I like Miami's. But I like Miami's DBs more than I like Indiana's. I do like D'Angelo Pons. I think he matches up really well with Malachi Tony if they can get them matched up because Malachi Tony does a lot of moving around. The thing that it comes down for me is do you like the Down syndrome accountant Fernando Mendoza or the sloth from Ice Age? What's his name?
Carson Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck. That joke did not hit because I did not remember the freaker's name. But anyway,
I got a perfect mental image of it.
And I want to trust Fernando over Carson Beck, but at the same time, all the crap we talked about Carson Beck throughout the whole season, he hasn't done it in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Hey, and Mason, can I ask you something? Mm-hmm. Do you remember when me and you said at the beginning of the season, yeah, I think we both said it. We said we thought, I remember this vividly, we thought Carson Beck was a better quarterback for Miami than Cam Ward was. Do you remember that?
No, I definitely did not say that.
No, we didn't. No. My fault. I took credit for something people were saying, and we told them they were full of shit.
Well, they are. Okay. Cam Ward's a better quarterback. Let's just be honest here. Cam Ward's better.
I tried it. Yeah. No, he's a better quarterback. But now looking back on the season, I also can see were getting that. And we called them dumb for thinking
their
that.
Defensive line and Malachi Tony and their run game all of a sudden came alive. Cam Ward didn't have any of that.
Right. But, I mean, here's the thing. Cam Ward was also an interception machine. I wouldn't say he was an interception machine, but he did throw interceptions. But I guess Carson Beck did too. So, yeah, there's no art.
Backpacking South Florida last year.
Yeah.
Backpacking the whole state.
Yeah, there's no excuse for that. I thought we said that. We did not. I don't know why I thought we said that.
And I stand on that. I'll die on that.
Yeah, you can stand on that. I think I'm just skewed because as of the playoffs, Carson Beck looks like an NFL type quarterback. He's dinking and dunking all down the field. He's making things happen. It's not perfect, but he's not making mistakes. The thing that it comes down to me is who do I trust more? And for some reason, I don't think I would trust him to walk across the road by himself if there was a butterfly flying in front of him. But I think I got to pick Fernando Mendoza. And honestly, I think this game could get bad. Really, as much as I say they are equal, I think this game could get really bad. Because honestly, man, I think Indiana's like that. And I heard this analogy from Chris Drew from Menace to Sports. And I don't like tailing from other podcasts, but it just makes complete sense when you think about it like this. And I don't know another way to say it. Indiana, last year was like that puppy you got for Christmas. They would play with you and they would bite you every once in a while, but it kind of tickled, but it hurt just a little bit, but you didn't even really pay attention to it. You're like, oh, that's so cute. He bit me. Ha, ha, ha. Don't bite me again. And then, you go to sleep. And then you wake up this year, and that puppy's like 130-pound Cane Corso, and he's still biting you. He ain't cute no more. You know what I'm saying? That's how it feels. That's what it feels like to me. Last year, we were all like, dude, look what Indiana's doing. That's crazy. Oh, wait, they played Ohio State and they got boat race. That kind of tracks. That makes sense. And then in the playoffs, they did what they did. They lost to, I think, Notre Dame. Anyways, it went on. And then this year, it's like, oh, Indiana's doing what they're doing. Go on, go on, go on. Oh, wait. Dang, they beat Oregon? I didn't think they were going to beat Oregon. Okay, anyways, keep it going. They played a few close games with Iowa and Penn State, but it's like, yeah, but they gotta go to Ohio State. Oregon was just kind of fraudulent, and then they beat Ohio State, and then even after they were the number 1 seed, people were kind of just acting like, they're okay, and then they absolutely thumped Alabama, and people were like, oh shit, what is this? And then they come out and they hang 50 and go belt to ass on Oregon and make it sexual. And now we're in the national championship, and it's like, do you think Miami is, I don't want to say that much better than Ohio State because, yes, they are better. But, like, do you think Miami's that much better than Oregon? I don't think Miami beats Oregon like that. I don't think Miami beats Alabama like that. Maybe in a perfect scenario. But the thing is Indiana's been doing it all year except for, like, 2 or 3 games. Like, their win margin between them and another team is greater than 2019 LSU. And I know 2019 LSU's schedule was way different. I'm just saying, like, Indiana's the truth, man.
And like looking at this game, if you listen to every week, I picked Miami to lose and I picked Indiana to lose every single week. So obviously I have no grasp on this. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my best shot at it. I think this game comes down to the quarterbacks. I do like Miami's D-line a lot. Obviously, they've given everyone problems. But if you paid attention to that Ole Miss Miami game, and I want to give Ole Miss props, they played a great game, but really what won Miami the game was Carson Beck's playmaking ability, which I never thought I would ever say that. He was able to push the ball downfield whenever he needed to. He was able to get the ball out on 3rd down whenever he needed to. And he was able to run the ball. Like, just whatever it took. Carson Beck made play after play after play. And that's not to say Fernando Mendoza doesn't do the same thing, but it just really, really impressed me. I think for that reason, I gotta pick Miami. I guess. I mean, I really don't know who to pick in this one.
That's what I mean. I
didn't expect either one. I
no,
really didn't.
I don't think it did. Anybody in our bracket challenge have these 2 teams?
Let's go look. Let's go do a little update on the bracket challenge, actually, because I haven't looked at it since my whole everything fell apart.
Yeah, because if nobody picked these teams, then pretty much we know who the winner is.
Let's go see.
Because, I mean, I mean, if nobody has these 2 teams in their national championship. I know I didn't. I know you didn't, and I know Aaron didn't.
Travis, Weston, or Blaine could win based on Indiana. Nobody picked Miami.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm top 3, but I picked Georgia. So
who's number 1 right now?
Jacob West.
Okay.
But he picked Georgia. Right now, if Indiana wins, then the tiebreaker will go between Travis, Weston, and Blaine.
I got you. I'm probably way down there.
No, you're 4th right now.
Emma, that looks good for the podcast.
Yeah, it was a bad run for Mason Dowell and his picks. But guys, that's all I got.
Dude.
I picked Miami. Justin picked Indiana.
It was weird. It was a weird football season. And that's kind of what me and you talked about all year long, was it feels a lot like 2007 in modern day. You had upsets, you had teams that got hot at the right time, and I think that's what's going to I think that from now on that's going to be your national championship, is what team gets hot at the right time. Cuz guess what? Everybody wants to talk about these fairy tale Cinderella stories. Miami is your Cinderella story. 2-loss Ohio State is a Cinderella story. 2-loss Alabama, Cinderella story. 1 or 2-loss Oregon. 1 or 2 loss Clemson, 10th seeds. It doesn't matter who it is your Cinderella story this year more than ever, because guess what? Miami almost didn't get in. Like, people were talking about how should they let Notre Dame in or Miami, and really I could see either one of them in the spot that Miami's in right now. But the thing about Miami is Miami has gotten hot when they've needed to. They've rushed for 150 yards plus in every playoff game. And Ohio State's no run game defense slouch. Like, they have a good run defense. So it's like, I think that's what's gonna. If Indiana wins it this year, there might not be another team that goes wire to wire. And if they do that, you might as well start casting people for
Kurt Cignetti's role in their movie.
Kurt Cignetti's role in the movie, and I know who needs to be Fernando Mendoza, but Shane Gillis. But they got to get him on Ozempics to lose probably 50 pounds, and he's got to look Down syndrome the whole time. And then it automatically looks like Fernando Mendoza.
Guys, I think in our next episode, obviously, we're going to react to the national championship. We're going to react to whatever portal news there is, maybe the final rankings if it's at that point. But we're also going to talk about our favorite games from the year. So that's just going to be 2 or 3 games that me and Justin decided were worthy of our favorite. I wanted to give it a little bit because obviously recency bias, and we had some good games in this playoff. So, and I think I'll include 1 or 2 maybe, but we definitely got some big games that, that we thought were personally fun that we're going to talk about. And any questions y'all have, this is the most important part of this episode right here. I'm going to say it right now. Any questions that y'all have, send them. I don't care if it's about what type of laundry detergent I use. Just send them. Because we're going to need topics. And I'm not saying I'm going to spend an hour on a question that you might have. I might spend 25 seconds. But we're going to need things to propel. Obviously I'm going to come up with stuff. Justin's going to come up with stuff. We're going to bounce off each other. But it's a lot easier to bounce off each other whenever we have an array of options. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we're not
for sure.
Think of everything. We're 2 people with full-time jobs. And I have a kid, so
I got 2 dogs, but that's not
plenty of brain power being used throughout the week. More than just this. But guys, that's all I got. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. On TikTok, it's 3 Deep South. Facebook, it's just our name on YouTube here. Don't forget, turn on the bell notifications so you're notified whenever we go live next. I'll give an update on whenever that'll be on Facebook, and drop us questions. But do it on Facebook or the comments on YouTube. It's hard for me to see it on YouTube, but I'm going to start checking that more. One more thing, sorry. If you're going to have a negative comment, okay, I understand. Granted, I have a lazy eye. Whoa, crazy shit. One there. Justin has a gap in his teeth. Whoa, things that are obvious, okay? But if you're going to do that, have a real profile picture. And include your favorite football team. So, I have something to go off of. I can't talk crap about a weird username and the Joker as your profile picture. Besides, I already kind of know what kind of person you are, but we're going to leave that out.
Yeah, I want
personal attacks.
And what's crazy, Mason, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother you. Like, it's part of it. At least, it's about dying on the hill. Like, if I'm going to talk crap, I'm going to at least show you who I am and at least show you that I'm an Ohio State fan. It's just crazy. And I get the comments that are coming in they don't know who we are. But, people who know us, I think me and you would probably be the 2 people that people are like, yeah, I wouldn't talk crap to them if you don't want something said back to you.
I have a gun. I'll shoot your ass if I really get that offended. Just kidding. Hey, by the way, that was a joke, YouTube. Just letting you know. I'll fist fight you. How about that?
BB gun. I just like talking crap to people, but a lot of people can't handle it, which is fine. I don't care. Hey, at least if you're going to, I'll let you say whatever you want to about me with whatever profile picture you have, as long as you like and subscribe to the video.
I didn't even delete the comment. It's still up there under one of our videos. You can say whatever you want. Yeah. But just know I would personally appreciate it
Yeah, for sure.
if you showed me what you look like first.
Yeah. Show me
That's
your
it.
mom.
Yeah. Let me see your mom. Actually, what's your mom's Facebook? I want to know that.
Yeah, put your mom's Facebook in the comments because I'll roast her too.
But that's all we got, guys. Unless, I mean, if your mom's real good looking,
That's all
send it,
Mason.
actually.
That's
I
all
do want
Mason.
to know. But that's all we got, guys. Obviously, a little bit of fun there, a little bit of goofing, but we will let you know about our next thing. Justin, do you have anything else before we get out of here?
That's it. I guess we'll see y'all. I guess you want to just do next Thursday again, or do you want to do it right after the game, like the Tuesday?
Let's not put it in cement yet. We'll figure that out.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
I'll update
God
everyone
knows.
on Facebook.
Yeah, God knows somebody will get sick or something.
Yeah. I don't even want to put anything in cement yet. But all right, guys, that's all we got. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's week.